the 2018 Ferrari 488 GTB. This is a car I have been wanting to drive and share my thoughts on for such a long time. I'm gonna come right off the bat, start this video by saying I think this is, aside from maybe the LaFerrari, the most timeless, beautiful design Ferrari ever. I think this does look just a hair better than the 458, and we'll talk about what the differences are between the 488 and the 458, but guys, this just belongs in a museum. But you still want to drive this thing, obviously, which we will. Oh, this white with the yellow accents is absolutely beautiful. In this video, guys, we're going to talk about what this car has to offer, everything from how much it costs to own this thing, even if you pay cash, because you still have maintenance on this car. By the way, the cost might actually surprise you. Also, what is this thing like to drive, and is it better than the competitors if you're prepared to spend, well, the $240,000 that you would have to spend if you wanted to pick this car up? First and foremost, I think we should jump right away and talk about what's under this this hood, this trunk, the bonnet. Let's open it. All right, so there is a reason why the 488 is so unbelievably special. Guys, this is the first Ferrari since the F40 that has turbos in a mid-engine setup. Ferrari has actually never done this since the F40, and so the Ferrari 488 is a very, very special car. Now, to explain the name 488, the reason why it's called the Ferrari 488 is because it has 488 cc per cylinder. This is a 3.9 liter V8 with twin turbos. That's probably the correct way to say it, rather than two twin turbos. That'd be crazy. Oh, that is so hot. Oh my gosh. If you get the 458, then that just has the naturally aspirated flat plane crank V8 revving up to 9,000 RPM. However, this only revs up to 8,000 RPM, but you have the two turbos, you have an extra 100 horsepower over the 458. Guys, this thing makes 661 horsepower. Also, can we appreciate, like, virtually every single view of this car? The back end of this, the taillights with the exhaust tips kind of matching with that circular design. I mean, this is such a fat back end, guys. Oh my, I just want to like spank it. Moving along to the side, oh my gosh, every single angle of this car is just literal perfection. Probably my favorite is going to be the front, where you can see the vent. And speaking of vents, guys, this thing with the aerodynamics, the engineering with this is absolutely insane. Obviously, you have two massive vents right here for airflow. You have this nice little scoop to provide some downforce, as well as this splitter in the front. If you move along to the back, you have two more vents broken up by this fin right here. More vents to extract some of the heat out of the engine, and it gets very, very hot under there. A very nice carbon spoiler. Cool little functional vent right there as well, and two more in the back right next to the exhaust tips. Oh my gosh. And not to mention, guys, 4G autos on this thing. 21-inch wheels in the back and 22 in the front, and all the power is sent to the rear, so you get equipped with 335s back here. It's actually the same width as the C7 Z06 for the tires. However, this car only weighs 3,252 pounds. To put that into perspective, virtually, I mean, almost every car aside from some McLarens weighs more than this. Guys, 661 horsepower, only weighing 3,250 pounds, makes this a true, actual scary, very scary race car. We are gonna hop in right now, and well, you'll see why it's so scary in a second, but I do want to talk about the interior for one moment, because in all honesty, guys, this is a little bit of a disappointment. First of all, the nice white stitching right here to match the white paint job on the exterior, but I mean, it is very, very plain. I've seen $40,000 or $50,000 cars that look better on the door panel presentation than this does. But hey, it's just a door panel, right? But then look inside of this thing. There's no infotainment screen. However, that is kind of the point of this design, right? The exterior, it is timeless, and so is the interior. When you start putting a bunch of screens in here, it could easily become outdated very, very quickly. And so the design of this was meant to be simple. All of the money was put into the engineering and the performance to make this an absolutely amazing driving experience. And let's go ahead and start this thing up. You actually have to hold the start stop to start it. And guys, one of my favorite parts of this car is just this POV design right here. That AC is blasting, and we kind of need it because it is a hot Florida summer day. But man, I have always loved the steering wheels of Ferraris and the gauge cluster. You have the RPMs right in the center because that's the point. It is so driver-centric. You even have an RPM indicator right here, which you'll see once we hit red line. This thing's gonna light up red. All of your selectable drive modes are right here as well. So you have wet mode if it's raining, you have sport. Obviously, there's no comfort or normal, although we'll talk about the daily ability of this car. But you have race, you have traction off, and you have electronic stability control off, which actually we probably should keep that on. All right, let's go ahead and start off in sport mode. Put the seatbelt on because you're gonna need, well, ideally more than one seatbelt when you drive this thing. A red line of 8,000 RPM, guys. Okay. So this is very similar to like a Lamborghini Huracan. A lot of exotic cars have a similar sort of weird setup when it comes to when you're ready to drive the car, what you have to do. Look at that, guys, 109 degrees Fahrenheit, please help me. So we're gonna push the paddle shifter, that puts it into gear, and you are ready to get rolling. Gosh, the speed of this dual clutch automatic transmission is absolutely amazing. And we're gonna go and actually press this auto button right here, and that's going, or sorry, actually, if you use the paddle shifters, it'll automatically put it in manual mode, but you can toggle this auto button right here to tell the car whether you only want to use the paddles or if you want it to shift for you. And let's go ahead and take off here. We're gonna use the turn signal, which is weird. On the steering wheel, you don't have levers like you would in a any other normal car. Oh my gosh. Guys, one of the first things you'll notice when you drive this thing, and you can probably even tell through the video here, this thing makes 561 pound-feet of torque. The peak torque is at 3,000 RPM. So even if you're going slow, don't want to crash this thing. Even if you're going like slow or low, you know, hanging around lower in the RPM range, as soon as you hit 3,000 RPM, you are putting down about 500 pound-feet of torque to the ground. And so this thing feels incredibly fast, even when you're not necessarily trying to go super fast. Oh, come on. All right, and off we go. Oh my gosh. Holy moly, guys. 661 horsepower in a car that weighs 3,250 pounds. I don't even know how to describe this. This is one of the fastest cars I've ever featured on this channel. It is actually so fast that it can scare you. One second. see, though, you do have huge carbon ceramic brakes front and back. You might be able to hear a little bit of squeaking when I get on the brakes because, you know, that's what carbon ceramics do. But yeah, these brakes absolutely have your back. I believe that's an M4. You might want to have a little bit of fun, maybe. Well, that was fun messing around with the M4. Unfortunately, my GoPro actually passed away kind of midway through that, but we're back, and just know that this thing is twice as fast as that M4. What is really nice about this, though, is, like I said, it is scary when you floor it, when you're not used to stepping into something that has 661 horsepower, but this car can really contain itself. The extremely wide back end, with the engineering that has actually gone into the turbo setup, was designed to help really manage the power. You know, you would have to mess up a little bit to crash this thing. I really enjoy driving a car with a lot of power, but knowing that it does have your back, and this thing absolutely does. So you could be pretty inexperienced with higher horsepower cars and step in this thing, as long as you do have some level of self-control. Listen to those carbon ceramic brakes squeak. I mean, what can you do? That is a very annoying thing. Almost like your car is like not being maintained, but yeah, that's the world of carbon ceramic brakes. But to spend a second talking about the value and the cost of ownership with this car, it's obviously a very important piece of this discussion. Well, if you're gonna get one of these, you know, decent mileage, good condition, you're looking at around $230,000 to $240,000. This one specifically is a 488 GTB, which stands for, we just saw 2 Urises. The GT part stands for Gran Turismo, and then the B stands for Berlinetta, which just means coupe or hardtop. The 488 Spiders are going to be a bit more expensive, but I mean, I don't know. I think being able to remove the top would be nice, but ain't nothing wrong with the Berlinetta or coupe version of the 488. So yeah, around $240,000. Surprisingly though, guys, out of all the research I did with this car, this is a pretty dang reliable car. As long as you take care of the thing, your annual cost of maintaining this car, based on owner reports and everything that I read, it sounds like you're looking at around $2,000 a year for oil changes and just like standard basic maintenance. If you're going to be replacing the tires, then that might be more like $3,000 or $4,000, maybe $5,000 for that year. Thankfully, carbon ceramics last a very long time, and so replacing the brakes is not going to be something you're going to have to worry about unless you're purchasing a very high mileage example or tracking your 488, which, hey, if you do that, more props to you. But if you do opt for paying cash for this car, well, it's going to hold its value pretty well as long as you don't overpay, and your monthly or annual cost of owning this car is actually, I mean, I was taken by surprise, guys. This is not a super expensive car to maintain. All right, now let's go ahead and jump over to race mode and see if we notice any big differences here. The transmission, for sure. The one thing I really do wish this car had more of is being able to listen to that V8 a bit more. Guys, the turbo noises that this car makes is insane. That is one of my favorite parts about listening to the sounds that this car makes. But the V8 is not as present as it could be. And so if I were to buy this thing, I would definitely put an aftermarket exhaust on this, because within the realm of competition with this car, you have the Ferrari 458, right? A naturally aspirated, flat plane crank V8, revving up an additional 1,000 RPM all the way to 9,000. You don't have the turbos sort of drowning out the engine exhaust note. You could get a Lamborghini Huracan instead of this, and that is a naturally aspirated V10. We all know that those things sound absolutely amazing, and that is the one complaint I do have about the 488. The turbo noises are cool, but it really drowns out the V8, and I just wish there was more engine V8 sounds coming out of this thing. I mean, look at the Ferrari F430. That also kind of needs an aftermarket exhaust, but once you do open that up, oh my gosh, the note that thing sings is absolutely beautiful. And so I had no major complaints with the exhaust note on this car, but that just is one, I think, pretty big observation when you drive this thing, is from the driver's seat, there definitely could be more of that V8 coming through. Now, on the topic of competition, you have the Huracan, you have the 458, you have a 991 GT3 RS. There are quite a few. We haven't even talked about McLarens. You have the 570S, which is way cheaper than this. I'd say more like a 720S is a good comparison to the 488, which is also a twin turbo V8, by the way. However, McLaren, electrical issues. Ferrari, I would say this thing's a bit more reliable than a McLaren, virtually any McLaren. But with that does come the Ferrari reputation, guys. You mod this thing, you just get barred from Ferrari. You're not allowed to talk to them or buy another car. That is ridiculous. However, I think no matter how much you hate that, respecting the engineering and the heritage of Ferrari is, you cannot deny that. This car is, you have to appreciate it. And I think the looks of this, it is more beautiful than a Huracan. It is more beautiful than a GT3 RS. It is more beautiful than a 720S. This is one of those museum cars. A Huracan, I think, sounds better. A 720S, it'll likely be faster than this car. In fact, if you were to run a comparison on all the competition with this car, well, the 720S is the only car that makes more horsepower than the 488. The 720S makes 710 horsepower. I don't know why it's not 720. It should be 720, but it's not. But the GT3 RS, it doesn't even make anywhere close to 661. The Huracan is, if you get the Huracan Evo, you're looking at around like 620, 630. A 911 Turbo S, even that's below 660 horsepower. So, look, comparing this to the competition in terms of power, you are sitting in second place on the hierarchy of horsepower. And you can feel every bit of that. I mean, guys, here, let's slow down a little bit. Look at that speedometer climb here. And what a lovely thing about this speedometer, it doesn't skip. It actually shows you number by number how much you're climbing, and it really makes you realize how fast you are moving. Alright, you guys, I want to show you a launch control really quick, and then I want to share some very notable facts about this car's performance. But to do that, I'm kind of stuck here, so we gotta reverse, and you're gonna notice two things. Number one, a very annoying beeping sound that just doesn't stop. And number two, can you notice the biggest thing? The biggest complaint I have about this car? There is no backup camera. In a $250,000 car, you do not get a backup camera. Come on, come on. And it's a 2018, guys. That the backup camera is an option. But why does that need to be an option? That needs to be standard. Come on. So that is a huge win to the Huracan. In the Huracan, you have the backup camera right in that screen right there. This one, there's no infotainment screen. They could have at least put it in the gauge cluster, but they opted not to. All right, now, when you want to launch your Ferrari 488, you need to make sure you're in race mode, first of all, and then you're going to press this PS button, and you're going to see this pop up right here in 3, 2, 1. Boom. Smash the brake, smash the gas, and hear those turbos build up. And like I said, guys, those brakes will keep you safe. That is absolutely unbelievable. Oh my gosh, everything, guys, everything. The steering, the cornering, the acceleration, the braking, it is $250,000 performance without a doubt. Oh, we got the, let's not floor it. Oh, what's coming up on us? I think it's a blue Mercedes SL. You guys will see it in 1 second. I think it's absolutely beautiful. If he comes out. But a few notable, oh, and there's a cop. All right, we're gonna chill. A few notable facts about this car, guys. Top speed, 205 miles per hour. As I mentioned, the peak torque is at 3,000 and the peak horsepower, 661 at 8,000 RPM. So what sucks about a lot of turbo cars is you feel the die-off, but in this thing, there is no die-off. When you use launch control sorry, 1 second, let me figure out how I'm going to spin around here. Can we make it? Can we make it? We can make it. When you launch this thing, it builds up to 3,000 and you immediately put all the torque down. As you keep revving it out, the horsepower is linear and it builds up to 661 until you hit 8,000 RPM and shift. So the combination of torque and horsepower and how it is put down is like literally perfect. It is perfect. However, I'd be very curious to feel how a 458 drives. It's going to feel slower, it's 100 less horsepower, but it's that racing engine with the 9,000 RPM, guys. So I'm going to try to get my hands on a 458 to compare this to. I'd be very, very excited to see how that feels compared to this. Guys, let me know what you think about this car. If you were to spend, and just dream for a second, I mean, not everyone has this amount of money, nor do I can't drop $240,000 on a car, but if you could, would this be your choice? And if not, what would be? Like I said, guys, I think this thing looks better than all other cars in this price range. There are better sounding cars, but something about this design, I don't know, it's just so unbelievably beautiful. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and for those of you that watch the channel, here to bring you guys whatever cars you want to see, give my thoughts, review, and hopefully I can help you make a decision for what your dream car is. Appreciate all you for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon in the next video. Peace out.